signing of the production sharing contract with ExxonMobil for Block TTUD-1 sees the energy giant return to Trinidad and
Venezuela's oil curse, or how a country that had everything to succeed completely failed. So, back in the 1920s, Venezuela hit the jackpot with a massive oil deposit, right? And in no time, they are one of the biggest oil exporters in the entire world. By the 70s, they're rolling in cash, and we're talking here about big fancy infrastructures, booming middle class, everything's looking up. But then, the 80s hit, and everything goes south. Why? Because they got hooked on that oil money.
Today we are looking into a topic that is hotter than Caribbean sun oil. Now, Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana are sitting on some serious oil wealth. But we've seen what happened to Venezuela when things went sideways. But there's more to it than just oil. It's about how they manage it, especially with the backdrop of socialism and economic policies.
Venezuela's oil curse, or how a country that had everything to succeed completely failed. So, back in the 1920s, Venezuela hit the jackpot with a massive oil deposit, right? And in no time, they are one of the biggest oil exporters in the entire world. By the 70s, they're rolling in cash, and we're talking here about big fancy infrastructures, booming middle class, everything's looking up. But then, the 80s hit, and everything goes south. Why? Because they got hooked on that oil money. Agriculture, local industry, all that stuff got pushed away. It was way easier to just buy stuff with those sweet, sweet oil dollars. But when oil prices tanked, Venezuela's budget was just a mess. And it wasn't just the oil prices. There was a ton of corruption under Hugo Chavez and Maduro. Oil money was supposed to fund all those great social programs. But actually, a lot of it ended up lining in the pockets of the big shots close to power. PDVSA, the state oil company, used to be top-notch, super efficient bank. But then, it turned into this black hole of bad management. It got so bad that the workers are paid peanuts. They pretty much all need a side hustle just to get by. No one can live off what they're making at the oil giant. And get this, even though Venezuela is sitting on what might be the biggest oil reserves in the entire world, there were some times where they had to import oil from Ireland. Sounds nuts, right? But that's exactly what's been going down these past few years.
Venezuela was once the richest country in Latin America thanks to its vast oil reserves. Chavez's nationalization of the oil industry seemed like a way to ensure wealth for the people, but instead it led to corruption and stagnation. Fast forward, and we see a country that can barely feed itself due to relying so heavily on a single resource. Chavez's policies made it clear that he wanted oil wealth to benefit the people. But when the government controls everything, it tends to lead to inefficiency. You see, when there's no competition, no one pushes to innovate. PDVSA became a symbol of the country's failure. Corruption, falling production rates, and the wealth was misused. Both Trinidad and Guyana have massive potential. They don't have to make the same mistakes. Diversifying their economies is a key. And I remember once Trinidad was heavily on diversifying. And I think we did do some diversification during Chambers, A&R Robinson time. I believe also during Kamla's first, and Pandey and Kamla's regime, right? I'm not sure about Kamla, but I know Bastille and Chambers and A&R Robinson was all talking about diversification. This means education, infrastructure, and innovation. And that's something I know definitely. We have done a lot of infrastructure and we're still working on that. Innovation as well. Trinidad and Tobago needs to take a page from Norway's book, but I'm not sure. I actually reading off of a heading that's saying Norway's book, balancing state control and private sector innovations, while ensuring there's a focus on green energy. Okay, like solar panels. Yes, I do agree with solar panels. I'm not sure about the wind windmill energy thing. It's detrimental for the birds in the air and all that and animals. Stop. Yeah. So here's the deal. Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana have a huge opportunity, but they need to learn from Venezuela's mistakes. Diversi- diversifying, transparency, and a balance are crucial. But what do you think? Is socialism a viable path, or should these countries take a more capitalist approach with their oil wealth? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit like if you enjoy this video, and don't forget to subscribe for more insight. Peace out. Who God bless, no man curse, and if God be for you, who could be against you? Bye-bye.
My daughter is
The signing of the production sharing contract with ExxonMobil for Block TTUD-1 sees the energy giant return to Trinidad and Tobago after an absence of 22 years. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar described the event as a momentous development in T&T's energy sector.
It is estimated that ExxonMobil will incur expenditure of an estimated US $42.5 million in the mandatory first phase of this project. That is no small amount of money, and it's in hard currency, US dollars. With success, I am told the projected development could cost between US $16.4 million and US $21.7 billion. Billion.
Mrs. Persad-Bissessar declared T&T's energy sector open for business as investor confidence from global majors remains strong. To ensure there is strong momentum in exploration across all domains, including deep water, shallow water, and onshore, the Prime Minister has given a mandate to the Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries.
Accelerate the responsible exploration of unexplored land and marine acreages. Continuously improve acreage award processes and undertake a comprehensive review of the oil and gas taxation regime to ensure T&T remains an internationally competitive hydrocarbon province.
Mrs. Persad-Bissessar said the government's principle is simple. Investment goes where it is welcomed and stays where it is well treated. In that vein, the Prime Minister said the government will maintain an attractive fiscal framework, enhance operational efficiency, reduce production costs, and streamline regulatory oversight.
Remove administrative bottlenecks. This is what I was saying to you. Remove the administrative